What I don't know is when it will fall and the damage it will do to our institutions. But I'm telling you, there is no possible way that this madness can sustain itself. It's literally impossible.
Yeah, my concern, I suppose, is that it's going to become so interwoven with the institutions required to keep our country moving forward, like business and education, that the business and education parts might at least temporarily fail when this vacuum happens, because it's going to
So
come,
that's the
right?
right. So that's part of the problem. Usually, capitalism is a corrective to this, but
Mm.
that's when you know that you're in something, an ideological movement that's so fervent that people are actually less concerned about making money and more concerned about propagating the ideology. That's when you know that there is ideological entrenchment and you have a serious fucking problem.
So
We
maybe we're
know
just
that.
waiting for hard times, right? Soft times breed soft men create hard times create hard men, and so on. Maybe we're just waiting for the hard times now. I just
Yeah, and
wonder,
the
in today's world, what is that going to be? I mean, we've got
It's got to be a
there's
war,
always
Dan. You've been in war. Like
I think famine is more likely. I don't think war will do it. War just engages two social cultures against one
no.
another.
That's going to just deepen the ideology to make sure that its
Yeah,
proponents look. This is what you need to
I
do,
think
and
famine is probably going to be it. Go ahead.
this is what we need to do. So you can take one approach, and it's called lawfare. You could just sue people who have these deranged woke beliefs. You can do another one like the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, name and shame. But the problem with that is that the people on juries, for example, are going to be woke, or the judge, or the people that if you try to pass ballot initiatives, you're passing them with people who actually want to defund the police or abolish
Mm.
the police even. The way to combat this problem, I was just at a conference in Bozeman sponsored by the Manhattan Institute with Chris Rufo and James Lindsay and a bunch of other folks. And I said that you're never going to solve this problem by an op-ed. Like I'm not going to write another op-ed for the New York Times or the Wall Street. It's just a total waste of time. You have to change the moral mind. You have to change the way people think about these issues. You have to move away from this obsession with personal identity that's killing us. It's dividing all of us, thinking incessantly in terms of race and teaching people to spot grievances. Like you have to change the way that people approach this. Look, my dad was a civil engineer, and he used to tell me, we had a conversation about when we were hiking about how do you take pollution out of a stream. The best way to take pollution out of a stream is to not pollute it anymore. Right? We know the cultural pollution. We know it's coming from the universities. We know exactly what they're teaching. This, not only is it not a mystery, they're screaming it from the rooftops. They want everybody to know. So it's the opposite of the secret. We have to start being serious about funding. We have to start, so there's a financial component of this. We have to have an honest conversation about looking at things discreetly in terms of what moves the needle. And in terms of that, we have to change moral attitudes about identity politics, wokeness, what diversity means. And I can break that down further if you'd like.
Well, look, I think everything you're talking about, like just trying to think about it out loud here, what that would take. It would almost take a global collapse financially,
no, that's the wrong way to think about it. Because if you had a famine or a war, look, let me give you a quick example. I have a friend who has a new car, and
what kind of car is it?
Cars, I think it's a Camry.
Is he really a friend then, or is he in Fast and Furious? I'm totally kidding.
No, let me don't derail me because I'm losing my train of thought. But on this car, it says something like you have something on the mirror of the car. It says something like it tells you if an object is approaching from behind. Mm-hmm. Anyway, my friend's son was driving this car, and the kid hated going in reverse. He didn't want to go in reverse, and his dad said, you have to learn to drive in reverse. The kid said, I hate it. So he made him, when they would drive every night, he made him go to a place down the street and practice reversing. Well, the kid backed into a pole, and then the little thing on the mirror stopped working because I don't know why it stopped working. And the kid's response to that was, look, I told you I didn't want to go in reverse. This is what happens to go in reverse. Now we're screwed. And the father said, this is why you need to learn to reverse even better. But the point of the story is people will look to their landscape, their data landscape, their epistemological landscape, and they'll find things that justify what they already believe. So if there's a war or a famine or whatever, all the woke people are going to do is going to say, look, this is what happens when not everybody shares our beliefs. Like, you've driven the society into war. This is inevitable, late capitalism or what have you.